Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's been a couple months since you've last seen me like this. I've been using the D2 gameplay. That's not going anywhere. I got quite a few gameplays left to use, but I figured, why not? Let's set up the camera. Let's just do a old time the way we used to do it. So, we're going to be talking about Big SD, and do I think that Big SD can come back from this? Big Shane Dawson, for the people out of the loop. Let me just give a quick lore context. So it really seems like this has been rumbling and boiling up, and now we've kind of hit the tipping point, because over the last few weeks, you've seen a black creator come out, and he was like, yo, I heard him on the phone with Jeffrey, and he seemed really upset. They got people rumbling. Shane Dawson issued a Twitter statement. Instead of just saying like, hey, not really feeling the makeup, he just attacked everybody. All of you are toxic. You're all puppets covered in strings. Like, that's how he went about it, and said he would be leaving that community alone. And the thing about the T community, when you got a lot of the female audience, they dig deep, and they went and they pulled all of the receipts, all the tea. They really went back and got a lot of crazy comments that he said over the years that honestly, I've watched quite a few different people talk about this topic, and I don't think I've seen one person that's like, I understand that was 10 years ago that happened, but maybe, maybe we shouldn't just cancel him. Like, it's so crazy because on this channel, themes that we usually cover when we talk about more serious topics, as a man, you don't want anything with sexual misconduct, sexual assault, or messing with children in any capacity on your name. And one of these, he just blatantly, he throws on his name himself. Normally, if somebody comes out with a crazy allegation against you and you got to defend yourself. We saw a lot of that last week. Most notably, the couple that stuck out to me, and then one I'll be talking about tomorrow, was Angry Joe that happened last week, and then Senpai, a fighting game player that we'll be covering in tomorrow's video. So when I'm looking at this, and he's up there, he's standing next to the Willow Smith, he's pretending that he's jacking off. I'm like, okay, yikes. That's, a little odd. That was the first one. And then he had the one with his cousin, and it's like, okay.
See, this happens.
See, oh.
And then you're so happy.
That is. Okay. Now, are you on your period right now?
What?
I'm trying to get answers.
No, how do I'm gonna give you
real inappropriate conversation, especially as someone that's like done childcare. It's like, yo, I remember a conversation actually happening like that with two female coworkers at the time. And I was like, I don't know about that one, Chief. A little odd. And then the last one, this is the one that I think has a lot of people looking at him with like the cocked eye, the raised eyebrow. Like, I don't know how you can come back from this one. And that is he's talking about how you met a 6-year-old. And during that, he was like, hey, do you got Instagram? And then she's like, I have 125,000 followers. And he was like, yo, she was kind of sexy. Just putting a little spading right on it.
The child was probably 6 years old, and I was taking a picture of something, and the kid turns to me and goes, oh, are you Instagramming? And first of all, how does a 5-year-old, 6-year-old know what Instagram is? Right. Which is terrifying. Mm-hmm. Second of all, I was embarrassed because yes, I was, and it was a picture of my salad. And the 6-year-old girl goes, oh, how many followers do you have? I have 125,000.
No.
Her dick was almost as big as mine.
Really?
And I said, okay, little big dick, why do you have so many followers? And she goes, oh, I'm a cheerleader. And I'm like, oh, really? And she shows me her Instagrams, which are like, first of all, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like, she's like sexy. I know, listen, we've talked about pedophilia before.
Is Shane, like, do not say this, and I don't even want to talk about it. Like, you will get arrested. Like, he kind of can. Listen, he allegedly has this justification for pedophilia, okay. And it's so disturbing. And like, I just pretend that he doesn't.
Okay, wait, no, let me explain. Let me explain.
Oh God.
Here's my justification for pedophilia.
I can't.
Here's my thing. People have foot fetishes. People have fetishes about, everything. Fine, everybody do your thing. So why is it when somebody looks at Google's like naked baby on Google and jerks off to it, they can get arrested? I don't understand.
Because
here's the worst part of it. I actually went to Google and I'm like, I don't want to see.
You could get arrested.
I know, but I just wanted to see, like, okay, let me pretend like I'm a pedophile for a sec. So I typed in naked baby. First of all, they were sexy. Okay, back to the Instagram.
And when I'm watching that, and then he starts going down like, why can't I Google this and look it up? People like feet. I just don't understand why I can't Google this. It's like, yo, Stop. And 9 out of 10 times, right, when you have a host and the host is like hanging you out like, yo, son, what's happening? What's going on? You probably should dial back from it. And this is the second time I've seen it happen as co-host on I guess, I don't know if it was a podcast or a live stream it was doing at the time. She was like, yo, dial back, B. Yo, you about to kill yourself, B. And he just went up on that thing, put that noose around his neck, and jumped. And the second one was actually Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz off the Brilliant Idiots. That happened a couple years ago. The thing is, like, Andrew Schultz is like, yo, he literally was like, yo, B, what are we talking about right now? What's going on right now, bro? And then that was the clip that came back to bite him in the ass like 5 years later. It's wild, because I remember watching it at the time. I was like, yo, that shit's funny. But that is the clip that ended up fucking his money up and changing how they do the podcast in its entirety. Getting back to Shane, there'll always be fans. The thing about fan bases is, sometimes people, when they like content, when they like you, they'll always support. You'll always click to see what's going on with this person. But the reality of it is, the way he structures his content is not something you can outpace the hate. So you see the same thing happen with Brooke House. She wasn't a daily upload channel. She's either a weekly or a monthly. So every single time you come back, those people are like, hey, yo, I got something hot for your ass right when you come back. And they throw the dislikes at 100 miles per hour, constantly reminding you. A person that does something scumbaggy, but he outpaced the dislikes, is, I would have to say, a tech lead and a Trend Black. Trend Black was like a commentary in the tech community-esque channel. If anybody is familiar with vegan games, kind of that, but he did it with the tech industry. So he'll say, worst of the tech industry, just pointing out little scams and programs that these guys try to market over getting just a computer engineering degree, and how he doesn't think it's necessary to use their program or their product. Him doing this actually got him a copyright strike, and it got him doxxed when he tried to fight back against the copyright strike. Other YouTubers covered this more in depth. When that happened, Tech League was getting dislikes. Like, it was bad. But he outpaced them, and then people forget and they moved on. But we're not talking about doxing, all right? We're talking about, like, yo, you sexualizing a 6-year-old, you sexualizing an 11-year-old girl at the time. When you start throwing that in and you're doing it by yourself, and then the nature of the clips are like, yo, this is kind of weird, that's when I start saying, like, yo, if I worked at, Shane Dawson LLC, and he's like, Rob, we got to get out of this. And I got my brilliant team of KG48, and we're sitting there, and we're like, yo, how do we get Shane out of this? I'm looking at him, and then I'm looking Shane right in his eyes, and I'm like, yo, boss, I don't know how we get out this one, truthfully. Like, I don't know if I do get you out of this one, let's say I'm making 60, I'm gonna need, you had to double that, baby. I'm gonna need 120, 140 a year, bro. I don't know how you could get out of this, because it's like, 9 out of 10 times, there's this phrase I got from Andrew Schultz. I really love it. It's like, yo, just make let good content be great. Just make good content. It's along those lines of what he says. But it's like, yo, dog, again, when you think back to how long it takes for him to put out a video, I don't think you're outpacing this shit. And then you start thinking about behind the scenes, all these people are cannibalizing each other in the beauty community. Tati last year was the spear that was spearing James, and Tati this year is the spear that's spearing Jeffrey and Shane. And he's up there, first mistake, you're up there, you're like crazy, manic, screaming, being over the top, and it's like, yo, bro, somebody take the phone. The worst thing you can do when some crazy things are happening around you is just turn on the camera. Rookie mistake, not sure why you would do this, but when he turns on the camera, Tati is, even if she is lying, I don't know at the end of the day, but she's giving her story, she's telling her truth, sis, and you're up there like snirking like, oh please, oh you got sexually assaulted, I got molested. When you start doing like whose pain is worse, is like, yo, you're proving the point that people are talking about you, is that the nice guy and the relatable guy, the guy that wears the bummy ass clothes that doesn't secretly have millions in the bank, that guy is not the real guy. The guy that's manipulative and maybe the monster behind the scenes, that's the real guy. And when you're doing anything and giving people like looks and like giving them pretty much lines that they can hook onto and say, hey, maybe there is a pattern here. And it's funny because during the thing, like I was watching it and I was laughing myself, is you can tell he wants to go off and really rip into her, but he remembers he's live and he's like, yo, I just don't want to say anything mean about anybody. This is just insane. This is insane.
Because she is a fucking... I can't. I don't want to say mean things about people. This is insane. This is insane. This person literally...
Bro, it's like, that's how you got in this situation. You not saying anything mean. And I see this like time and time again when people do the thing where they're like, you can believe in me, I'm so relatable. And then those people, you know, suddenly are the same person that they are on camera, behind the camera. So all in all, that's the end of the video. I'm just going to wrap it up here. From everybody coming out of this situation, I think like Jeffrey will probably be fine because the nature of the type of person he is and all the scandals that already have been around him in the past, I don't really think this one is going to be too much more damning than what we've already seen. But as far as how Shane is going, might be a little hot for him for a while. Definitely going to have to get off the block. That gun definitely has 2 to 3 bodies on it, and they're looking for the person that used it before him. So he's going to have to go low. That's just my thoughts on this entire thing. Be sure to comment, rate, subscribe. Also, check out my Patreon for over 32 hours of additional content if that's your thing. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Everybody have a great day, and I'll talk to y'all soon.